Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Welcome everyone. Welcome to It's Time to Call Investors. Can you all hear me? Just someone go to the chat and say, yeah, I can hear you. Um, Perfect. Thank you, Luz. All right. So welcome to It's Time to Call Investors. My name is Mark Weithorn. I'm with DPI Websites. Doing this class in conjunction with the Miami Association of Realtors. So I teach a lot of classes at the Miami board. A lot of you have taken my classes and know me through the years. And invariably, one question that I keep getting the past few years is, what about investors? What should investors do? Because they remember back in 2009 and 2010 that investors, were making a killing. A lot of realtors did really well with investors back then because, they were coming in and buying things up at a discount. So for the past few years, investors haven't really had much opportunity to, invest in real estate because, you couldn't flip a house for $300,000 because those things were selling quickly. And then the condo market was a little soft because they overbuilt. So there weren't a lot of good investments for investors. But now, all of a sudden, here we are back again. There's a recession starting, and the economic climate does not look good. So this is the time when investors come out and they start, looking for deals, looking for things that they can buy at a discount for, pennies on the dollar. So this is a time to call them again. What we're going to discuss today is we're going to go over sales statistics. I'm going to show you what's going on in the marketplace right now. Then we're going to look at pricing, what's happening to pricing. We'll look at residential inventories, commercial inventories. We'll also look at businesses. We'll look at some math, how to present things to investors, the math, and then your responsibility as a realtor. And also we'll look at getting listings for businesses or things like that. If you have any questions, please go to the chat and ask questions. I like questions. Questions are good. And then also, if you want, I will email you this presentation. At the end of the class is my information, or just in the chat, send me your email address and I will send you the presentation. Sound good? Everyone good? All right, let's start. So, this is an article that just came out in The Real Deal, April 23rd. I mean, this is like hot off the press. And Related CEO Jeff Blau says he anticipates there will be a wave of defaults on commercial and hotel loans as the implications of the pandemic become clearer. So, yeah, I mean, this is, some people say, oh my God, but as a realtor working with investors, this says to me, this says opportunity. And here's another article that came out. This is also from The Real Deal. This is a New York property owner who's putting properties up for sale to raise cash. So you can see that it's starting to happen already. It's, people are starting to look for these opportunities. It's just starting now. So let's start looking at some statistics. This is, first we'll look at residential, because there are some opportunities for investors with residential, and I'll show you what those are. So, in Miami-Dade County, in the last 2 weeks, we sold 259 single-family homes and 219 condos. Now, it's down It's probably down about 40% from what it was beforehand, but there's still a lot of activity going on. And some of it has actually started, occurring after the crisis started. If you look at the pricing on here, this is interesting. For single family homes, 100,000 to 300,000, we sold 47 homes. For 300,000 to 500,000, 129 homes. I mean, that's the bulk of it right there. And then what's interesting is if you look at the $1 million plus homes, 19 of those sold in the last 2 weeks. What's happening now is you have people from the Northeast who are coming down, who are purchasing properties for a couple of reasons. One reason is that they want to get away from the all the sickness that's up north. I mean, New York and New Jersey got hit really hard, and then also they want to save money on taxes. They can save 15% of their revenue on taxes by moving to Florida. So we're seeing a big jump in the $1 million plus market. If you look at condos, the bulk of the condo sales are below $300,000. That's the bulk of the process of the sales there. But then once again, you'll see that you have $1 million plus that are selling as well in the condo market. If you look at Broward County, so here we're looking at 672 sales in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to back up for a second. Dade County was about a third less. Okay? Yeah, about a third less. But Broward County really has a lot of activity going on. It's amazing. That's where a lot of the action is going on right now. And if you look at what's selling for single family homes, once again, the bulk of the single family homes are for below 500,000. And then you also have the $1 million homes. Those are selling as well. And once again, those are the people from the Northeast who are moving down here. If you look at condos, the bulk of the condos are below $300,000. What you have in Broward County are a lot of 55 plus communities, HOPA. And that's where a lot of it's going on. A lot of the sales in Broward County of condos are the 55 plus communities, big business there. And then we had a handful of the $1 million plus condos in Broward County. There isn't that much inventory in Broward County on those condos as there is in Miami-Dade. That's why you get, for single family homes, that's why you'll see a lot of those. There's a lot more expensive homes in like Weston or Las Olas or places like that. So there's still a lot of sales going on. Palm Beach County is also doing well. Palm Beach County, basically you have a lot of sales going on in Palm Beach County. You have a lot of single family homes and condos are selling in Palm Beach County. Let's look at the numbers. Once again, it's single family homes below $500,000. That's what's selling. And then you will have $35 million plus homes in Palm Beach County sold. It's crazy. And then you also have the condos, same thing, the 55 plus communities. Look how many below 300,000 is selling. And then you also have the $1 million plus condos are selling in there as well. Any questions as we're cruising along? Okay, I like questions, so, feel free. Okay, now I want to look at expired and withdrawn listings, because now we're going to start looking at what our opportunities are for actually, working with investors. So in Miami-Dade County, we had 447 sales that actually got taken off the market in the last 2 weeks. And the bulk of those are condos. Some rentals came off the market as well, 180. In Broward County, we had 316 listings that came off the market as well, and only 94 rentals. And then in Palm Beach County, similar numbers to Broward County. Palm Beach and Broward are basically in sync. 228 sales. It's pretty evenly split between single family homes and condos, and then 62 rentals. So what I want to look at for residential opportunities are condos in Miami-Dade County below $500,000. Sorry. So basically, we're going to look at months supply. So there's two types of markets out there. There's a seller's and a buyer's market. The middle is 6 months supply. Less than 6 months supply makes it a seller's market, low inventory. Higher than 6 months supply makes it a buyer's market, too much inventory. So basically, right now, condos, $100,000 to $300,000 is an 11-month supply, which makes it a buyer's market. 300,000 to 500,000, 19-month supply, year and a half supply, too much inventory. The way you calculate month supply is simple. You look at the total number of active listings. Then you look at the number of sales in the last 30 days, and you divide the number of sales into the total active listings, and that gives you month supply. Need me to repeat that? One more time. You take the total active listings, and you divide that by the total number of sales in the last 30 days, and that gives you month supply. So basically what this is showing is that condos in Miami-Dade County, 100,000 to 500,000, we have too many of those. There are opportunities there where there's too much inventory. So for example, here I did a search on Matrix for condos. And this is what it takes to work with investors. You have to do research. You have to, look for things that are good opportunities for investors. You can't just, send them stuff from the MLS. They won't look at it. So for example, here on this page, look at all the down arrows. Okay, this was done a few days ago. Look at all the down arrows for prices. Prices are dropping. That means that people realize that they can't sell, and they're doing what they can to be sensitive to the economy or to the market. So you'll see all these down arrows. Now here, I looked up a specific building. This is 300 South Biscayne, the Met in downtown. Can you please repeat how you get month's supply? Clementia, sure. Sorry, going backwards. You go to MLS and you look up an area. You could look it up by city, by zip code, by condos, single family homes, and you see the total number of active listings. Then you go to sold in the past 30 days, 0 to 30 days, and you divide the sold into the number of active listings. And that gives you month's supply. Got it? Okay, so back here, I'm on Matrix, and I'm looking at 300 South Biscayne Boulevard. And here I circled, you see prices are just going down, 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 down. And that to me says opportunity. Okay, some people say, oh, I don't know what's going on. You know, I see that as an opportunity. So here we have some 2-bedroom where the prices have gone down. Now, the next thing I looked at was closed sales in, I think I did it the past 90 days. So here we have what things are actually selling for. So for example, if you look at line number 5, you have something that was listed for $340, but actually sold for $315. Or line 4, $345 actually sold for $320. So this will start showing you what the real prices should be for real estate. So let's go back here. For those of you who came in late, if you go into the chat and give me your email address, I'll send you a copy of the presentation. Or just email me at the end, I'll put up my information. So here we have condos in this building who are listing for $422, $449, $415. And the reality is these things should be selling for $320. Big disparity. So this to me says opportunity. This to me says that if you have an investor, you have the ability to go in and start negotiating for you know, selling this at a proper price. Any questions on that? Okay, so let's do the math, because your investor is going to want to see the math. So here I took a typical 2-bedroom condo, and this is from the MLS, the financial information, and I'm sure you're all familiar with this. And if you look at it, the HOA fees, the maintenance fees are $843 a month. You see that in the middle? And then if you look at the taxes, the tax amount is $6,300 a year. So I went and divided that by 12 to give me $530 a month. So it's simple. You know, I went on Matrix and I looked at what a typical 2-bedroom condo is renting for. And I came up with a $2,500 rent, which is a good guesstimate. So if you take $2,500 in rent, you subtract the HOA fees and the monthly taxes, it gives you about $1,100 in profit, gross profit. So if you look at the cap rate, I'll show you the formula for cap rate in a second. You'll see that at a purchase price of $329, the cap rate is about 4%, which with the way the stock market is, you know, seesawing these days, is actually good. Before, you know, people didn't care about that because, you know, the S&P 500 was going through the roof. You know, why you just sit there and, you know, watch the ticker every day, and you don't have, that's how you make money. Now people are looking at different venues. So a 4% cap rate is actually pretty decent to an investor. Before they were looking at, you know, like 8, 9% cap rate in order to get their attention. Any questions on that? The way you come up with cap rate, it's a simple formula. You take the gross annual profit. So in this case, it would be the 1127 times 12. And then you divide that by the purchase price. In this case, it's $329, and that gives you 4%. Cap rate's a very simple formula. Any questions on that? Okay. So what you can do basically is you can start looking at buildings, condo buildings. Miami-Dade County is prime for this. That's where there's a lot of inventory. And start looking at things that are not priced correctly. And, you know, if you walk up to them and you say, hey, I got a cash investor, he's willing to, you know, I know you have it on the market for 415, but he's willing to give you 330. Look what sold in the past, you know, couple of weeks, or, you know, look what's selling. Look what the real prices are. And a lot of people will say, well, you got to be crazy. You know, that's stupid. And then you'll get one or two that'll go, okay, tell me you got a cash buyer. All right, I see. Okay. And all you need are one or two. You're not going to get like 20 people saying yes. You'll get, you know, one or two. So you want to focus in on a handful of buildings, and then you want to become the expert for those buildings. All right. Commercial properties, let's look at those. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities with commercial properties. And let's look at offices for sale. That's the first thing we're going to look at, offices for sale. So what I did was I went on to Matrix. It's a little bit of a challenge because only 20% of the commercial properties are in the MLS. Most of the stuff's on, you know, like LoopNet or CoStar. But this is a great start, going to the MLS. So basically, you go here, and I noticed there's this one building at 2555 Collins. I just happened to notice, you know, just looking at it down the list, there are two office units there that are for sale, and the prices are going down. So to me, I mean, look at all the down arrows. To me, that once again, that says opportunity. You might, you know, if you're working with an investor, that is an opportunity when you see prices going down. It's an opportunity to negotiate. So once again, you come here to the MLS, and I just clicked on one of those listings, and I looked at the financial information. And I see that the taxes are $3,000 a year, and the HOA fees are $200 a month. So I guesstimated that the rent is about $2,000 a month for those offices. You have to work on that number. And I did the math for the cap rate, and amazing, I'm getting a 7% cap rate. So for the investor who basically has vision and understands that, okay, I'm not buying this for now, I'm buying this for later, because eventually, you know, the economy will turn around and eventually people will need offices. A 7% cap rate is pretty darn good. And now's the time when you go and approach these people, and you, there we go. And you start negotiating on what the purchase price should be. Any questions on that? Okay. The next thing here, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. The next thing we're going to look at are multifamily homes, which is another thing in the commercial inventory that you also want to look at. Some investors like multifamily homes. So here, I went to Matrix, and I just did a basic search for multifamily homes. And as again, you can see all of the down arrows. So here we have this one. I circled this one at 1940 Bay Ridge Drive, where the price went down. They're asking $5 million for it. And what you have to do is, this takes a um, lot of research. So here's the challenge. As you get into the MLS, into some of these properties, commercial properties, you're going to find that there's less and less information posted on the MLS. So for example, here on the MLS, we have no idea how to calculate a cap rate. We have no idea what the occupancy rate is. We have no idea what the total rent is, what the costs are. It's just not here. And it's your job to contact the listing agent and to start working on these numbers in order to put together a package for your investor so they can look at it. Let's see. Clementia, this number and statistics, you got them by doing your own research, or there's somewhere stats can be found. Okay, so you have to do your own research, basically. You have to call, if it's a listing agent or a property owner, you have to go visit these places. You have to take your own pictures and or video. And then you're going to have to put together a presentation for your investor. And I wouldn't make it like a 50-page presentation because they're not going to read it. I would make it, you know, like a couple of pages with numbers and pictures and things like that. So at least I have an executive summary. And it's going to take your legwork to get these numbers. For example, here on this multifamily property, I don't see a lot of information. The only thing I see is the tax amount. They started putting together a list of units and rent and stuff, but basically, I just don't see information. There's not enough information here to give to your client. And if you went and just emailed them this listing, they would look at it, they would say, I don't know what I'm looking at. So it's your job to really put together the numbers and then put together some pictures and video and show it to them. How are we doing? Questions? Okay. Once again, for those of you who came in late, send me your email address and I will email you this presentation. All right, commercial/retail, same thing. I just went on to Matrix. I found this one unit that's for sale. This is in Miami, off of South Dixie Highway, right near Metro Rail. And basically, here's the address and information in Matrix. And then when you look at the detail, what's my email address? At the end of the class, I'll give you a screen with my email address, or just put it in the chat. Put your email in the chat. Anyways, here is the information for this building that's for sale. It looks like it's retail/office. And as you can see, there's nothing here. Basically, there's nothing here. You have to, you know, get in your car, wear a mask, and bring hand sanitizer, and you have to drive there, meet the listing agent there, take pictures, get numbers, and then put together a presentation. Clementia, I'm going to answer your question about the elements in a few minutes. I'm going to go over that. So you're going to find a lot of these properties where there's not enough information. If you sent this to your investor would say, what are you sending me? I have no idea. It's your job to do the research, to do the legwork, and then present them with some proper information. The next thing are commercial businesses for sale. I think you're going to see a lot of opportunities here. I always wanted to own a coin laundry. I thought, you know, having stacks of quarters were always cute. But here is I went back to Matrix, and basically I looked at businesses and look at all of the down arrows. It's crazy. There's one up arrow which which confuses me. It's a restaurant. It's a Latin bakery, and it's an up arrow in price. So that's pretty cute. But look at all the down arrows. Prices are dropping. So pretty much, once again, we have the same situation. You're going to go here, and there's like no information. I mean, there's like nothing here. They have natural gas and they have AC. Okay, great. There you go. So it's your job to contact the listing agent, make an appointment, go there, look it over, kick the tires, look at it, you know, as if, is this something that you would want to buy? Take pictures or video. So you have things to present to your investor. A lot of investors love businesses, especially like coin-operated laundries, you know, cash businesses. They love those things. And basically, you're going to go in and, you know, present them the information. This is interesting. This is an email that I received. I get emails that realtors receive on a regular basis. This is a liquor license that's for sale. Okay, $175,000 or best offer. I always like that, or best offer. That means it's worth $100,000. Okay, OBO, or best offer. So I said, all right, I have no idea about liquor licenses. So I went to Google and I typed in how much does a Florida liquor license cost. I mean, you know, that took me about 10 seconds. And basically, you can spend as much as $300,000 for a liquor license in Florida. And there's a lottery in order to get them. So this definitely has value. It may not have value today, but in a few months, when when we open up and when restaurants are working again, this is something that definitely has value. And this is something that an investor would look at and say, okay, I get it. I'm going to sit on this for a little bit, and then it will have value, and maybe I could then go flip it and make a quick, $25,000, $50,000, or I will be opening a restaurant or something like that. It depends on what your investor is doing. So I just see that there are a lot of opportunities for businesses, and I go on the market now, that the prices are going down. What you're also going to find is you're going to have people who were in a business that went out of business now, and they don't want to get a job, or so they want to go and purchase another business that they think will do better in the new economy that will unfold. And you want to have this at your fingertips to have these opportunities for them. How are we doing? Everyone okay? All right. There's other websites that you can do research on. Here we have LoopNet, which has the bulk of the properties for sale. It is owned by CoStar, but LoopNet is a great place to go and look for commercial real estate for sale. You'll see most of the commercial properties are on LoopNet instead of the MLS. All right, so question was, what is a realtor's responsibilities? What are you doing? I'll tell you the first thing what you don't do. Don't go to the MLS, find something, and just send the listing off to your investor. That's not enough information. They're going to look at it and go, wow, this is a lazy realtor. What you need to do is you need to reach out to the seller or their agent, their realtor, and you need to go there. You need to look at the business, look at the property. You need to gather all the information you can on what are all the costs on it. Do they have a spreadsheet on P&L, profit and loss? Do they have, you know, what all the leases are and what the rents are, all that stuff. And then you're going to take photographs yourself and maybe some video. Video in these days is really good because you know, a lot of people are not traveling. And then what you need to do is you need to put together a presentation to the buyer, to the investor. You need to put together the cap rate. You need to put together all the costs, what the purchase price is, what all the rents are, and then what it will cost them to run the property, all those things. And then you calculate the cap rate and you give that to them. And once again, like I said, 2 or 3 pages at most. That's it. Don't do like 50 pages. If you can do 50 pages, 48 of them should be pictures. And then what it's your job to do is, your job is to negotiate. Negotiate, negotiate. It's your job. Act as if it's your own money. Work out the best deal. Walk in. If you see prices going down, immediately ask for 30% off. The worst they can say is no, but they may say yes. So it's your job as a realtor to learn how to negotiate. That's the trick. The better you are at that, the more your clients will ask. Samara, you never know what you can get till you ask. Always push, yes. That kind of reminds me of me and dating in college. I never knew what I can get until I asked. But yeah, basically, yes. Ask. The worst thing people can say is no. You know, what are you, crazy? No, I'm not crazy. You know, look at the unemployment rate. Look at the GDP. No, I'm not crazy. Have resources like lawyers, accountants, appraisers who can analyze a business or property in order to see if it's a solid investment. You want to have a team together. So when your investor goes, yeah, that looks pretty interesting. Can you run the numbers for me? You go, yeah, I have an accountant who could do that. Let me put it together. You know, let me see what they can do. The accountant may charge money for that, but your investor should cover that. If they're not willing to cover that, then they're basically not a serious investor. They don't know how to do these things. If they're just buying a condo that they're going to rent out, then you don't need a lot of this, and you know, analysis. Basically, you know, it's what's the cost, how much is the rent, you know, what, you know, and then what's the cap rate. So this is mostly for businesses or commercial properties. All right, any questions? Okay. So property management, I don't know how many of you have taken the property management class. You need to take that. Property management is good money. Typically you get 10% of the rent for, you know, collecting the check and calling the plumber. And sometimes you have investors who are from out of the area or from out of the country, and they need someone to manage the property. So basically, you want to be able to do that. It's good money, and then also if it involves rentals, then you get to, you know, do the rentals on that while you're doing the property management. So you should take the property management class and learn how to do that. Okay, we're getting near the end. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. All right, early lunch today, guys. So let's talk about getting commercial listings. What you want to do is you want to go to the MLS and look for expired or withdrawn listings. So for example, here I went to commercial and I'm looking at expireds, and something jumped out at me. I noticed the same address, the same building, I circled it in red, is all over the place. Something happened there. I don't know what happened there, but that came off the market, and it's all these units at a building. To me, that means, okay, I need to do some investigating. I need to make a phone call. I need to go visit that place and see, what the story is. Maybe they want to put it back on the market. Maybe the realtor didn't structure it properly. You want to see what happened there. And you want to go through this list and start seeing what came off the market, and contacting these people, finding out why. One of the ways for finding the owner is by using IMAP. I love IMAP. It's a great tool. So for example, here, I'm researching that property that we saw. So I went in and I typed in one of the addresses, 6010 Northwest 102nd Avenue. And I did a search. This is a tax search. And here's the information on the property. But what I also did was I also downloaded the listing, the information, the owners, property owners information from IMAP. So for example, here I see that this property is owned by Galilex LLC, which has an address at that address. And then I also have Toys Collection LLC, which has an address on Key Biscayne. And this is all from IMAP, where you gather this information. So you want to go here, find out who these people are, send them a letter, call them, to do some research to see, why they withdrew their property from the market, and if there's any opportunities for you to, get the listing and maybe structure it properly. Any questions on that? All right. We're at the end of the class. Questions? No one's asking questions. Does IMAP have an option to export an Excel sheet? Yes, absolutely. So what you do is you go to IMAP, you do the search, and when you hit start search, you're going to see on the top right, it's going to say download results. And that's going to allow you to download all the information for those properties. And basically, this is an Excel sheet gotten straight from IMAP. Class for property management. So I don't teach that. You might want to go to the Miami Board's website, miamire.com, and you'll see the classes for property management. It is a CE class. You want to take the test. The class prepares you for the test. It's a CAM license. So while you're taking that, you might as well take the property management test in order to get your license. Just get it out of the way. Just do it. But go to miamire.com, and you can see under the education where that's available. For multifamily, would cap rate be the most important rate to focus with the investor? Yeah, they look at cap rate. They want to see basically how much money they're earning every month. Return on investment, that might be when they sell it and things like that. But they like to look at cap rate. I don't know. I get a lot of emails that realtors get, and you'll see, you get it from all over the country, like a commercial property that has a Starbucks on it. And they'll tell you that it has a 5-year lease and the cap rate is whatever, 6%. So that's what they're used to knowing. That's what they like, is the cap rate. Any other questions? All right, before we end this, I get a minute to tell you what I do, so please hang in there for a second. My company creates websites for realtors. These websites are linked to the MLS, so they automatically import all the listings, both residential and commercial. We also have new developments and existing developments with floor plans. So like this is Guadalupe. She works in Miami-Dade County. And all the listings are on there, but when it brings up a listing, it leaves out the listing agent's name and number. So if someone wants more information on the property, they have to contact you. They don't contact the listing agent. This is great for getting your clients away from places like Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. We also have all the developments. So here's like Glass House. Here's all the information for Glass House. And then we also have all the floor plans. So once again, if your client is interested in, let's say, Glass House, you don't send them to Glass House's website because there's the name for the sales office. You want to send them to your website to see that information. And then we also have the existing developments. We also have landing pages. Here's a landing page. It's time to move to Florida. Tired of cold winters, crowded communities, a hard lifestyle? Well, it's time to move to Florida. And what you would do is you would take this URL, this page, and you would post this all over social media and things like that. And it's designed to get people to register for lead capture. So you get their information and then you pick up the phone and you call them. So we have these pre-designed landing pages. We blog for you automatically. Here's a blog page. So we automatically have blog articles. We also link it to your Facebook page. So there's a lot of things we do. The cost for the site, there's normally two costs. It's normally $300 for the design and then $59 a month for the hosting. During this crisis, we were doing it for April. I'm going to extend it into the month of May. We're not charging the design fee because everyone's tight on cash. So we're foregoing the $300 design fee. But the monthly hosting is $59 a month. That includes the IDX, the link to the MLS. It also includes changes to your website. Anytime you have changes, we don't charge you. And then it also includes training on how to use the site. If you're interested in this, here's my information. Just give me a call or send me an email, send me a text. You can go to my website, dpishowcase.com, and you can see sample sites. Any questions or anything before we go off and have lunch? Thank you, Alicia. All right, like I said, most of you gave me your information. If you haven't, send me an email or a text or go on the chat here. And basically, I'll email you the presentation. So thanks for your time, everyone. Stay safe. Yeah, we have lemons out there, but when you have lemons, what do? You make lemonade. A lot of sales out there. Just got to take advantage of it. Thank you for your time, everyone. Have a great day.